Hi, welcome to the Lex channel. Ring buffers. Okay, yesterday I was having a discussion or a session with one of my student, and we are discussing about it. And I do get sometimes mails regarding can you take sessions on network drivers and stuff. See, I have taken some bits and pieces, and you can go through, and I like I always suggest, go to my website. See, you can go to the website, and then from there you can go to videos. You can traverse towards this page, and from there you can go to any relevant section like this, because often I do get comments or mails where I have covered probably a video in the past. You don't need to search or fiddle around in playlists and stuff like that in YouTube channel. Of course I do categorize in playlist, but sometimes I may add the same video in couple of playlists, and sometimes I do forget adding them in the playlist. So I do recommend always go through this way, so that you will get all the relevant topics under a specific session. So I was having a discussion about circular ring buffers, and I thought it's an interesting topic and I can cover in one episode. If you think about Linux kernel, in various instances you will find these ring buffers in Linux kernel. Mostly you will also find places like network drivers and stuff like that. Okay, and not only that, if it is any file system, again you may find, and various other areas you may find this ring buffers. So that way you can see you can find various pictures like that, and you can implement these ring buffers with bunch of linked lists, connected linked lists. And the advantage you get when you use linked lists is you can expand this quantity of this ring buffer items or elements or whatever. Okay, or if you use any static arrays, it's a lot more comfortable, because you can define a preset quantity of how many instances you want. It can be structs. Each item can be a struct, or it can be some kind of buffer of arrays. Okay, it's each one is a character buffer, and it's a buffer of those huge buffer. So you can do that, and the way you access this array can be like a ring buffer. Like I said, you can write encapsulating APIs. You can do that same with C++ if you are doing it in user space. You can do with object-oriented language. You can do via object-oriented stuff, or if you use C, you can do struct and some kind of API is bounding this ring data structure. So you will find this, and technically the objective of this is you can keep some kind of a wraparound mode. So as each item fills, see, you have this ring buffer, or let's pick this picture. See, as each item fills up, what happens is once you reach the end, it is up to you. You can overlap and overwrite this. So that way you will have a sort of when you work on a producer consumer kind of scenario where somewhere data is getting produced. Let's take example like network packets. You get each time packets, and then you can dump in this ring buffer. As each packet comes, you will dump it in each slot. Okay, so take for instance, each slot is one packet. So once it is over, and if it is a static array, what you can do is you can just overwrite. Once it is over, you can overwrite these elements. Whereas in the case of a linked list, you have the advantage. You can constantly define new items, and then you can constantly add it to that ring buffer. See, let me take this paint. Let's represent this ring buffer something like this. Let me put with this. So let's take, this is our ring buffer, right? So what happens is, let's divide this into some few sections. See, you have 4, and then we divide further. We have 8. Populate with multiple items. See, we can populate this way. So let's assume it is populating like this, and as we do it, if it is a circular ring buffer, you have done with a static arrays. So once it comes here, the next item, let's assume this is not consumed, right? So this is not yet consumed. Then what happens is you can start overwriting this. Okay, so let's represent in some other color. You can start overwriting this, and then you can keep adding like this. And meanwhile, in case you start consuming, you need to see that it should start from here, and you can consume this item. So the moment you consume, let's denote it gets empty, and then again you consume this, it gets empty, you consume, it gets empty. And meanwhile, new items to be added, it will be adding somewhere here, right? I'm sorry, not here, it should start from here. So this way it's a perfect circular ring buffer. So like I said, you need to write many APIs to bind binding this logic or the data structure, and you can maintain with linked list. Like I said, the advantage with linked list is, suppose you are populated this and the last item is over here, and you want to add any further entries, it's quite easy. You can just break this link. They break this stuff, and you can let's just do somewhat like that. Since I can't do a rotate in this app, let's suppose you can break like this and add a new item, right? You can add a new item here. So it is still connected, everything is connected. Yeah, you can add a new item, and then you can populate over here. So this gives that flexibility. If you use a linked list, you can add items in the real time. But as you know, I'm a fan of arrays, so I typically do use ring buffers. But if I use via arrays, and I don't mind scenarios like getting overfilled and stuff like that. If such scenario happens, we can easily debug if something like that happens, and you can just increase the size of your ring buffer. So assume you have 1000 elements, just add another 500 or 200, check how it works in the real time, and arrive at a sweet spot. You should know how much it is capable of adding new items at a given rate. See, for a second you are getting 1000 packets, then your ring buffer should be around 2000 or 3000 slots, right? And if you are adding at a higher rate, okay, you are working on some gigabit network stack or something like that, you are getting at a higher rate. See, this can also happen if you are dealing with any SSD drives, some type of file system or something like that. So if you are getting at a higher rate, just increase it even further. Okay, so that's what. So then doing arrays, you can do that way. So I thought, let me show some few examples or snippets here and there where we can see in the kernel space code of this live implementation of ring buffers. See, you can go to this drivers. You can see here these are various network drivers. Like I always show, I pick this Intel drivers. You can generally visit any other manufacturer also, but I can take this as a de facto standard because we can use one reference code for our discussion, and it is easy. Anyone can see the same code, and then they can understand which is a more common and popular code. But you can go to any other Ethernet drivers in this folder. See, and you can go to any manufacturer, and you can find you have Huawei and you have this Marvell and stuff. So let's go here and we can pick few examples. You have this Ethernet 100. This is the old NIC cards of Intel. This is 100 Mbps NIC card, and then you have this 1 Gbps NIC card, which is a PCIe Express NIC card, versus this is a old PCIe 1 Gbps NIC card. So you can open any of these drivers. If you generally search ring, you should find various instances and surrounding data structures. See, let us just go here. There are certain ring parameters are there. We can go back. See, you can see here these are various operations for that each tool operations. So for that you have all these callback APIs registered. Apart from that, you should also find a definition of that buffer and stuff. See, this is one code. If you go to this E1000E, which is 1 Gbps NIC card driver, you should somewhere find this, and than that, since I know this driver well, I can show some examples over here. See, I mean i40E, this is a 40 Gbps NIC card from Intel. You should able to find some of these over here. See, this txrx.c and txrx.h. Okay, if you go here, you have various data structures, and you can find, let's go to the header files. You should see, okay, here i40 ETX buffer, and you should be able to see, you can see there is a dedicated data structure i40 ring, and then you have, by look of it, you know that it is a sort of a part of a linked list. You can see there is this next item is there. So in this, they are having a context of this device and stuff. You should find the buffer part itself. Let me just scroll down. As you come down, see, this is bounded by something called as ring container. So ring container have this, that i40 ring data structure. So as you see here, it has been done in multiple layers, and if you go down further, you should also have all that surrounding data structures. So if you see here, you have this statistics, and you have this ring itself. You should find the ring, you can go back to that, and you should find the ring buffer itself. So let us see, somewhere they will have a pointer, and it will be allocated. See, for that we can go to this part, because out of this, which pointer is the actual buffer. So it is quite easy. You can go to this, and you can find somewhere getting allocated. So alloc, we search for some type of alloc. So since it is kernel space, you should find any kmalloc or something like that. In the case of you want a 0 malloc, you need to set 0 bytes or something, then you can do this kzalloc. Okay, so you should find somewhere that, okay, this is for packets, and yes, somewhere you should able to find it. Since I have seen this code quite a long time back, I'm unable to point out exact place. See, you can see there, this is the ring buffer, allocation of a single item or single element. See, you can see there tx ring of tx bi, kzalloc of that bi size, and the gfp kernel. So you should able to find it. This bi size is over here, and somewhere you should populate that bi size is the size of so and so of that count, and he is doing that actually. I believe this is for the entire ring buffer items. It is not a single element. By the look of it, you can see there it's a size of the tx buffer of that many times, which is a ring of that count. So